Purdue basketball is going to continue to be the most disappointing team in Indiana. That leads us to my favorite segment that we're going to do on every Wednesday, Over the Hump Day. It's my favorite sounder. It's the best one I've ever made by far. Let's get into Over the Hump Day.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo! Hump Day!
No, as a coach, I gotta get us over that hump. I gotta get them comfortable, knowing that you're gonna be in close games and you gotta make plays coming down the home stretch. I mean, in the tournament, we were right there. I just didn't get them over the hump, man. And that's something that I live with every day of my life. Because I truly believe that was the team to really make some noise and get to the finals, and I just couldn't get them over the hump.
Good old Mike Woodson couldn't quite find a way to get him over the hump. I love that sounder. It's so good.
Dude, that was sensual.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's like I said, it's the best one I've ever made. It's so good.
I like it.
As always, the phone lines are open, 317-228-1430. If you're a Purdue fan and would like to let out the sadness of yet another, deep-ish tournament run, making it to the Elite Eight, and Purdue still can't win the big one. Okay, they continue. The record still stands. They have won more NCAA tournament games than any other program without a national title. I love Coach Painter. I think everybody does. He's brilliant. People that are way smarter than me rave about the sets that he runs and the down screens and all that kind of stuff. Okay? When he speaks to the media, he's charismatic, but he's also honest, and he gives real answers. He doesn't, bullcrap anybody or anything like that. He's a very likable figure, and it's why he's been the head coach at Purdue for 21 years now. Okay? Now, he's been the head coach at Purdue for 21 years, and they've made one Final Four. And it was a big deal. When it happened, you got Zach Edey, two-time, National Player of the Year, their first Final Four in 44 years. Their third one in that program's history. And like any other year, they would have had a great chance to win a national title. They just ran into UConn, who was an absolute juggernaut that year. With that being said, every year that I watch Purdue, I have the exact same concerns when March rolls around. They always lack athleticism. And that seems to be the thing that normally costs them in March. If you go back and you watch them play that game against Arizona, and if you stop the game just at random points, and you ask yourself the question, if I had to make a list of the most athletic guys on the floor, no matter what point in that game you decided to stop it at, the first five all would have been in Arizona uniforms. They couldn't stay in front of the Arizona guards. I love Oscar Clough. Love everything that he brings. Trey Kaufman-Renn, been a stud, scored 1 million points the last 2 years. But they were smaller and less athletic than their matchups. And that is a terrible combination. No matter how good or how skilled you are constantly battling uphill. And when you have a coach like Matt Painter, who is brilliant in the way that he gets guys open and manipulates coverages and does those things, then you're going to win a lot of games, right? Because when you look at the Purdue roster, one thing is always apparent, the amount of skill that they have up and down. But in that game, man, it would have been a lot easier for Purdue to score buckets in that second half if they had one guard who could just win off the bounce one-on-one. They haven't had that since maybe Carson Edwards, and he was more of a shooter than anything else. I was watching Carson Edwards highlights last night from that 2019 March Madness run because I'm weird. Dude, I forgot how awesome he was. Completely forgot about it. Anyway, athleticism is everything. And I think that the way that Purdue plays, if you've seen their, production and their results over the years, then like you understand that, right? And it's apparent. Athleticism isn't everything, but it's something. It's a pretty important part of basketball. It's a lot easier when you can give the ball to a guy like Darius Acuff, who's just, the quickest and fastest dude on the floor. It's a lot easier to score the basketball when you have a guy like Cam Boozer. I know people knock his athleticism. That dude's more athletic than I think people realize. Point. It's a lot easier to score when you can give the ball to A.J. DeBonsa, who's the best athlete on every floor that he ever steps on, and say, hey, go get me a bucket. Okay? All of those guys would have been the most athletic player on Purdue's roster. You could have taken anyone who wasn't a walk-on from that Arizona roster and put them on Purdue's roster, and they immediately would have been the most athletic player on Purdue's roster. Okay, losing Camden Heide last year in the portal to Texas, it's a big deal. It would have been a lot easier to defend a guy like Koa Pete with a guy like Cam Heide, who's a legitimate 6'7" and really athletic. I don't want to overly critique one of the best coaches in college basketball. But at what point does Coach Painter need to make an adjustment to the types of players that he goes and gets? At what point does he and his recruiting staff need to put a larger emphasis on going and getting players that are more athletic? He has done an excellent job. He and his staff have done an excellent job of developing players during his time at Purdue. Now, just imagine if those development skills were used on larger, more athletic players. Maybe that's what needs to happen in order for them to win their first national title. Maybe that's what needs to happen for them to get over the hump for the first time in their program's history. Just a thought. Again, it's Matt Painter. That dude wins 25 or more games every year, it seems. And, next year is going to be interesting. No Braden Smith, no Fletcher Lawyer, no Trey Kaufman-Wren. Three guys that have been like the pillars of that Purdue program over the last 4 years. They're all gone. And I'm sure, for those who are looking way ahead, it's like, how good are they going to be? What are they going to look like? I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to be really good because Matt Painter's the head coach. But are they going to be good enough to win a national title? Probably not.